Hyvät naiset ja herrat, tervetuloa ALFALANDiin. Mulla on vieraana tänään Thunder from Down Under, Aaron Selkrig. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
How are you?
I am good. I'm good.
It's been a long time.
It has.
We actually, I have to tell you, we've been planning to sit down for about a year or a year and a half.
It's been a while.
Now.
Yeah, we live so far away from each other as well.
Yeah, that's it. You live across the road from Kurvi, so
yeah, it's not bad.
You call yourself the transformation specialist.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Some marketing dude just told me to do it, basically. But
that's the way.
Yeah, we changed the branding recently, actually. So it's gone away from me mostly, and it's now talking about more about the coaches and more about the clients. So I've just put my name on it, but now it's called Selkrig Performance Unit, and I'm trying to take a bit of a step away, as you know.
You're a personal trainer or a fitness trainer, whatever you want to call it. How would you describe yourself?
Strength coach would probably the best way. Yeah.
Strength and conditioning coach. Or?
Yeah, I'd say that. But then, I'm ex-military, so boot camps and all that sort of crap, man.
That's part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you, because I find your story very fascinating.
It's different.
We actually have some friends, common friends from back when I was in Australia. We talked about that already, but tell us, how did you end up? I mean, tell us the story. Let's start with, how did you get interested in strength and conditioning?
For me, I think I was like boxing when I was younger. I was playing rugby. I was doing all those things, and then in rugby I was always the smaller guy. And growing up where I grew up, it was a lot of big, like, islanders. And
where did you grow up?
Just near Newcastle.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of big guys, so when I joined the army, I was still small. I think I was like 64 kilos at 17, and so I was like 17, 1 month old. Joined the army, spent 6 years in the army, but during that time I was playing for the army side, and guys were getting even bigger and even stronger, so I was getting my ass kicked. So that's why I decided, well, basically the coach said I'm too small, and one of the guys from the team just started dragging me to the gym every day, and I think we went to the gym like every day for 3 years with no rest day. Like,
what was that in high school or in the army?
That was in the army. Yeah, I didn't do anything of like any weights before I went to the army.
What kind of sports did you do in high school?
High school was rugby, so rugby league and rugby union and boxing. Yeah, so those ones. But boxing is obviously okay if you're small because it's weight class. But so that's all right. But
did you have any fights in boxing?
No, I had them in the army though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what got you interested in going to the army? I mean, that's a little bit different in Australia than
it's
than
different
here in Finland.
For sure.
For us, it's mandatory to go to the army, but for you, it's
very hard to get in, actually.
Yeah, it's more a professional army there.
Yeah, I think like only 10-15% get selected.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's actually very hard to get in. I got in trouble as a kid, and I got picked up by the police after having a bit of a street fight, and I got taken to the police station. They said to me,
"Let's go back a little bit. What happened?"
Just where I grew up, it's like motorcycle gang areas, and I just got into a fight with another kid his dad's in the motorcycle gang, and so anyway, a bit of a brawl. Police picked me up from home one day, took me in, and they gave me a choice. Well, they sort of gave me a choice in a way, and I just said I'll join the army, and they just handed me the phone and they said make the call then. So I made the call to the defense recruiter, and then I had to follow through with it because they were checking up on me all the time. So yeah, army was different.
Were you having troubles before with the police or
Nah, not really, man. Just of course, like when you're young in my area, you're always getting the punch ups. Like it's a weekly thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing big, but it was pretty interesting though. I like the army. I miss it sometimes.
And where did you go in the army?
I didn't serve anywhere. I started as a mechanic, actually. And then I changed to be a combat fitness instructor for 4 of the years, basically. So I didn't do much time as a mechanic. I did some time at the Special Forces unit as a mechanic, and then I changed to be a combat fitness instructor. So working, basically yelling at people, telling them what to do. You know, the guy who you see yelling when everyone's doing the obstacle course, that was me. It was a nice job. You do like 2 hours a day work, man. It's pretty awesome.
So what kind of training do you get to be a combat fitness instructor? Again,
that's also very, very hard to get into that job because everyone wants to do it. You know, it's you work 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. That's your job. So very, very hard to get in. You have to first apply, and then they have to work out if you match mentally, and then your aptitude, like how smart you are. Because
that must have been hard for you.
No, very hard, man. That's the hardest part.
Who did you have to do the test? Huh? Who did you have to do the test for?
Some smart friend, some geek.
Yeah.
But then you have to do a test based on like a fitness test. So they have to obviously make sure that you're going to be fitter than the average soldier, because you know, if you're a fat personal trainer, it's not really a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to do push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, rope climbs, run, swim, pack march, I think as well. But I've been training with the Special Forces guys before that, so I found that very easy. And it's like basically a competition, whereas 200 people might apply for the job and then 10 get selected, for example. So you got to beat everyone in every single thing to actually get selected. But it was a pretty nice job. And then it's only like a 1 month course, and this is where I don't believe in overtraining. It's like, like 1 month course, and you're doing about eight PT sessions a day. You're doing eight PT sessions a day, and then we'll go into the gym after and doing strength training as well. So 8 1-hour sessions, then followed by a 2-hour workout in the afternoons. It was for 1 month straight. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. It was a nice job. Probably my favorite thing.
How long were you there for?
Doing that for 4 years. Yeah. So total of 6 years, 2 months, I think, for my military time. So a while.
A while, yeah. What was that after you went to Thailand after that, or?
Yeah, so
was it straight after the army, or what?
It was straight after the army, but I had 1 month, I think. I broke up with a girl, and then that's when I just decided that was enough for the army as well. So I put in my leave. I put in my leave, and I had 6 months of leave saved up. And then I put in my resignation. You have to hand your resignation in 6 months before you leave. So I just handed them over both at the same time. Well, once they signed off my leave paperwork, I handed my resignation, like my discharge papers, and then they're like, "Fuck, okay, so you're leaving?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm leaving next week."
Yeah. So why Thailand?
I went to Thailand, I think.
A lot of Aussies go to Thailand and to Bali and around, but...
Yeah, I went to Thailand for just training and spending some time there for a month, like a year before I got out of the army. And then I sort of fell in love with it a little bit. So I thought I'll go back there. I got a tattoo over there. And
what kind of training did you...
I was just doing weights then, man. So I think I did like 1 or 2 sessions Muay Thai. Not just weights mostly. I wanted to be a bodybuilder back then, so so I was just doing weights. Fuck was I saying?
You got the tattoo.
Yeah, I got the tattoo, and I went back to the tattoo shop, and I thought, you know, I could probably make some money here as well, like selling tattoos. So I went to the tattoo shop, gave them some money, and said I'm going to buy 49% of the shop, and then I ran the tattoo shop for a few months, and then I met my now girlfriend. So that's how we met. Yeah.
But how? Like, what happened? How did you get interested? Were you a tattoo artist?
No, man, I can't draw a stick figure.
You just decided to.
I was like, fuck it, I'll just sell them. You know, like I just knew I could sell better than what they could, because like I had a mate that was doing it as well in another part of the town, so in Patong. And I just thought, well, I could maybe sell some tattoos, and because you get 25% of every tattoo that comes through the shop if you're the sales guy. So so it's not bad money, you know. Like it's cheaper over there than what it is here to get a tattoo, but it's still not that cheap, you know. So
and your partner was he
Thai guy? Never saw him. Some mafia dude. Yeah. So they're all owned by the mafia, most of those tattoo shops. So it's decent money, you know. I was like I was working fuck all. I think I was making $2,000 a month, you know, like 2,000 euros a month roughly. So that's nice when you're living in Thailand. And
about the mafia in Patong or Phuket, is it true what they say that the police is more the mafia, or
it's different again? There's police and mafia, but the mafia do control the police.
The mafia dudes control the police.
Yeah, well, they did back then. I'm not sure now, but you have it like I didn't have to have a visa, you know, like that was all sorted.
Yeah,
no problems. Yeah, so it's a. I think Thailand's a good place for a holiday. I don't think Thailand's a good place for people to live because you get caught up and then you start to turn to a bit of a Thai person. And
what do you mean by that?
Well, you start to just see like the white people as money. Like that's eventually what happens, right? So when you're there, you're not making so much money. Like a lot of the people that are there running the bars and that sort of stuff, you can't really trust anyone. Even if they're an Aussie, a Finn, like I still wouldn't trust them. So yeah, so it's very, I don't know. I think it's good. Like my limit for Thailand now is 5 weeks. I'll do 5 weeks and then I have to get out. But
it's funny when you say that because I have a friend who lives in Thailand in a different place in Thailand, but he also told me about that all the Thais are, it's somehow in the culture to try to rip off.
Yeah, and I understand. You have to understand as well, right? Yeah. It's just business.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of way of doing business.
Yeah.
But then when you're ripping off a foreigner or a farang, you're just ripping out them more than you would rip out your neighbor.
Yeah.
Like your fellow countryman.
Yeah.
So it's just in the culture.
Yeah, it's just normal. Like, of course, like when you walk there and you got a wallet and they can see that it's a lot of cash, there's no price tags on anything. You get your wallet out and you're like, how much is this? And then you're like looking at your wallet trying to work out how much money you got in there. Of course. And there's little things like the more tanned you are, the cheaper the prices are, you know?
Because obviously...
Because they've been there for longer. Yeah. So the white guy, the real white guys, they're just like, they get hammered with prices, and the lady boys will target them as well because they maybe won't realise that they're lady boys and all those sort of things. Like my tattoo shop was right next to a lady boy bar. Yeah. It was hilarious. Like they never come and talk to me.
No,
but, you know,
because you
like,
live there.
Yeah, because they know. Everyone knows. And then, you know, you see like the British guys. There's always the young British guys, because they're pale as fuck.
The pale white British guys.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, boys.
You don't know what you're in for.
They're walking past like this when they walk past the tattoo shop with this Thai girl, and then like sticking your thumbs up. And you're like, no.
How long were you in Thailand for?
It was on and off. I'd say for nearly a year. Yeah, on and off. But happy to get out of there, man.
Where in Thailand? Did you just stay in Patong?
Just in Patong, yeah.
It's didn't go around.
No, it's fucking rough, man.
Yeah,
it's rough to stay in Patong.
That is a rough place.
Yeah, it's rough to stay in Patong. Like you party too much,
and the fucking lights and everything.
Yeah,
it's a very hectic.
I was living just off Bangla. You know, shit. Like it was.
How old were you then?
23, 24, 23. Yeah. So it was different. A lot of partying, and Thailand's a different place when you get like when you've been staying there for a long time. You meet a lot of people, and partying turns a bit worse. You know, so you have to get out eventually. Yeah. I think it was the best thing. I think like for 3 weeks I don't really remember, and then I just ended up back in Australia. I'm like, all right.
But you met a Finnish girl there.
Yeah. So I met a Danish girl, and she was living with this Finnish girl, and then
you met a Danish girl.
And then she was living with my now girlfriend, and then she introduced me. So I think we met there maybe like a month and a half after I started there. So after I went to Thailand, and we stayed together for the whole time. Basically, like 2 weeks after we moved in with each other.
What was she doing there?
Just backpacking, chilling out. Yeah. She had the good life.
Good.
Yeah, so I think we spent a few months there, and then she moved back to Finland. I moved back to Australia. We kept in contact. She then came to Australia for like 5 days because her dad works for Finnair, and like they have cheap flights and stuff. So she came to Australia for like 5 days, and then a couple of weeks later, I actually came to Finland, or a month later, I came to Finland for about a week or 10 days, I think.
What time of year was that?
It was summer. Yeah, it was like July, August or something.
A good time.
Yeah, so it was pretty nice. And then, she moved over to Australia, and I was working in the mining industry, like for Caterpillar. So it's good money, but just long hours, and you live in a crappy area like desert. There's nothing there. So it wasn't really nice for her. She was just sitting at home all day. She didn't need to work because I earned so much money, but it's just boring life. And we got her into uni in Australia, but then it's $100,000. So she said like uni's free in Finland, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So just packed my bags. 2 weeks later, left the mines, moved to Finland, because I didn't really have that much stuff. So I just straight away moved here and started working here.
Yeah, but you were training the whole time between the army, Thailand, and the mining thing.
Yeah, training was my life. Like for sure. Like I never missed a workout. I think the first 3 years, I don't think we had a rest day. For 3 years, like there was no way.
That was when you were...
when I first started.
Yeah, when you were younger.
Yeah. So, 3 years straight. Put on like 20 kilos or something straight away.
Fuck.
And then moved to after that was Thailand. So, and I think basically it slowed down a little bit when I moved here, but still training, of course. But yeah. But
now you have a very successful training business.
I'm very lucky, man.
And I respect that, because coming to Finland and being a foreigner, non-Finnish speaking foreigner, it's really hard to find work.
Yeah, it is.
So basically the only way is the entrepreneurial life.
Yeah.
Where you create your work yourself. And you've done that.
Yeah, I fucked up the first time though.
Oh, well, there's always a second time.
Yeah, so
the first one was with Fit Meals.
Yeah, it was Fit Meals, man. Yeah, it was going okay actually towards the end, but I started to lose the love for it, I think, and we were in talks actually.
What was the mistake you made? That was how we met.
There was a few. Yeah, that was how we met. The biggest mistakes was delivery. Was very, very hard. Like just doing deliveries. That made it very, very hard, because we were doing frozen meals, and the laws and regulations that we had to use a frozen van to deliver the meals. That was just very expensive. That was one mistake. I should have thought about how to do that a bit better. Maybe to deliver them fresh, or but then you've got to deliver 2 times a week. So there was a few things like that. Rushing decisions with business partners was another one. I'd say that's the biggest one. But trusting some people before you really know them. I was just trying to get stuff done. Of course, it's very hard. I was running that business in Finnish as well. So apart from when I was speaking with people, but all the ads were done in Finnish. All the marketing was done in Finnish. The website was in Finnish. The menus were in Finnish, and I'd say that was maybe a problem as well. I should have done both Finnish and English, but I'd say they were the biggest things. Some things were working really well, like we were selling to companies in the end, and that led on to what I'm doing now. But and subscription was working really well in the end, and I should have maybe done subscription straight from the start. And we actually spoke about that. Yeah. So a few little mistakes, man, but nothing big. So it was okay. It didn't cost me too much money in the end. But
and you learn a lot.
You learn. That's the best thing, I think. So you have to learn. I think like I was studying business at the time, so I was studying online university in Australia, like a business degree in marketing, and I think you learn so much more just from doing it. Like very, very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it led on to what I'm doing now. So as I said, we're selling to companies, and then I just sold the PT to the same companies. So it worked out a bit better.
Good.
It's better cash.
It was funny you mentioned about trusting your business partners. I think not a lot of people are out to deliberately like take your money.
No.
But if you rush things, you don't really understand what your business partner is in for.
No.
Why he's in for, and what his motivation is.
Yeah.
And if those two, if your motivation and your goal is not in line with his,
that was the biggest thing. It wasn't, they didn't try to fuck me over. Right. I got nothing against them. I still talk to them, but it was more we weren't on the same page, you know. And I'm a very stubborn arsehole type guy, right? It's like I'm hard to get along with. So I'll be the first one to admit it, but it just didn't line up. Like what we wanted to do wasn't the same things, you know. The conversations we should have had before we just started acting, rather than. I
know, man. Because I made the same mistakes in a lot of businesses I've been in.
Yeah.
It's just that you sit down for a few hours with usually a mate of yours, and you've got this idea and everything is fine and dandy.
Yeah.
Until you come to that day that you realize that, okay, he's not really on the same page as I am.
Yeah.
Or his goals are different or whatever. And usually, you know, in the beginning you should do all the agreements.
Yeah.
You should take more time.
Yeah.
And not rush into the business.
Yeah. Oh, lesson learnt, mate.
Yeah, man.
It was good. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But and that led you to the personal training.
Yeah, so I was selling food to Supercell. So most people probably listening to this know Supercell.
I think everyone, if they don't know Supercell, they should look it up.
I was selling food to some people there, and some of them were in my subscription program. So when I closed the company, or when I was looking at closing the company, I was obviously calling everyone saying like, look, your subscription is going to end. But then I knew like the Supercell had their own gym, and so I called Supercell and like, well, the guy who was the admin guy who was buying the food from me, and I knew I had like, at that time I had fuck all money. I think it was about 300 euros, and I think we're about 2 months behind in rent. So I had to work out something pretty quick. So I just called them and I said, look, I'll work for free until you're happy to pay me. I know you've got a gym, just line me up with clients, I'll work for free. And they did that, so I got pretty lucky there. I think I was booked out in like 6 weeks. So I went from 0 to 8 grand or so in 6 weeks. So I got really lucky there. But and with that $300 or 300 euros, I paid a business coach. So that was. I was like, I got 300, and I called him and I said, look, I'm going to transfer the 300. Tell me what I need to do. Like, I'll do what you tell me. It's my last 300 euros. So
I didn't know you were that deep in in shit.
Yeah, and then I had the loans as well, business loans as well in my name. So it was decent. So,
but it's like what they say that when one door closes, one door opens somewhere else. Yeah, it's just God's way or whatever you want to call it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I got lucky.
And you were looking at the door that was opening.
The lucky one.
Yeah. So but now from that, what happened then?
Well, after I sold myself out, basically, I started hiring staff. Now we've got 7 staff. So. They're doing most of the work now, luckily. I still coach 4 hours a day, roughly. And then obviously running the business and doing the marketing stuff. And now we're building our own gym. So, close.
It's about to open soon.
It's about to open, mate. I think 10 days?
10 days?
Yeah. So March 5th,
And that's in Eira, Punavuori?
Punavuori, yeah. I don't know if it's Punavuori, yeah. Purusimien katu.
Is it going to be a private gym? Or?
It's a completely private gym, yeah. So they'll get memberships, but it's only for our paying PT clients. It's only 230 square meters, so it's not massive. But all Watson equipment and Rogue bars and stuff like that, Rogue plates. But yeah, it's completely private. But yeah, it'll be pretty interesting, I think. It's a nice area. I've got a lot of clients already, so the gym's already pretty busy. It will be pretty busy when we open.
Now, when you came here from Australia, And obviously, you've seen the differences between cultures here in
sure.
Australia and Finland.
Yep.
What are the biggest differences apart from the weather?
I'd say shyness. I'd say
shyness.
Finns are a bit more shy than what Aussies are. Aussies are a bit more outgoing.
Mm.
I've had to tone it down because I was a bit too outgoing, you know. And Aussies like speak their mind a bit more. Finns are a bit more reserved.
Mm.
I'd say that's the biggest difference. Finns don't like to take risks though either. That's one other thing, and but I'd say they're the biggest things. That's what I've noticed. I think it plays to your advantage in the entrepreneurship world when you're an immigrant, because you don't really have much of a choice, so you have to take risks, like you said.
I think that has to do with culture. We Finns, we tend to look at failures in a more judging way.
Yeah. I don't give a shit.
No, I mean, you see that in sports and everything in Australia, because I mean, people don't really. They're not shy to admit that they fail or they lose or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Here in Finland, it's a little bit tricky.
It's a bit different, man.
Yeah.
I'd say they're the biggest things.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there's a lot of similarities. I think there's like honest. Like Australians are very honest. You know, Finns are very honest. You know, you can rely on them if they're your friend, if you've known them for a while. Like, it's a pretty close relationship normally. But I'd say they're the similarities, but the biggest differences are the ones. Yeah.
I think when you look at Aussies and Finns, we have more things in common than differences.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Yeah, I think it made it pretty easy. Like, I get along with everyone pretty well here.
Yeah.
It just takes a bit of time to get to know them more. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
It has a lot to do, you know, with it has a lot to do with your own personality as well.
Yeah.
And it takes longer to get to know a Finn, but I think the relationship is even more tighter.
Yeah, I think it's stronger.
Yeah.
If I look at some of my Finnish friends, like, I probably have stronger relationships with them than what I do with some of my Aussie mates now. Of course, I'm not living in that country.
But yeah.
But
yeah. I found that in Australia, you know, when people are really nice and polite, and outgoing as you were saying, but if a Finn tells you, you know, we should go out and have a coffee someday, or have a barbie
you
or
have
whatever,
to do it.
you're gone. He means it.
Yeah.
But if an Aussie tells you, we should go out for a coffee, he doesn't really mean the move yet to go out for a coffee.
One day.
One day, you know?
Like our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It took a while.
Yeah, but no, I agree. Definitely. I'd say that's the biggest things. I think like in the service culture, that works out to be a really good thing. Like when you have a client, it's very rare that they're going to leave you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, Finns don't like to try new things, right? Which is one of the reasons why my business, like, I'd say it's part of the reason why Fit Meal struggled, right? Because it's a completely new concept. Walt wasn't around, Foodora wasn't around. It was just before that period. So home delivery food, like, it was very new. It was maybe 6 months too early as well, right?
Yeah.
If Walt was there, I would have had a completely different business model because I would have got a restaurant and I would have just used Walt for delivery, right? So the business model would have been different. But
Walt didn't exist then.
No, it was when I was closing it. I remember seeing the Walt ad on Facebook. Yeah, and I was like, motherfuckers. But now I train the Walt guys. I'm friends with the Walt guys now. So,
good.
But I think we just missed the timing as well. But you know, that happens. That's a big thing of business. But yeah, in terms of the friendships and stuff like that, when you're a personal trainer, or even what you guys do as a CrossFit box, you create that community, and I think people find it really hard to leave.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a big benefit. Whereas in Australia, they would just go, all right, I trained with him for 6 months. Now I'm going to move to that guy, you know, or they'd bounce around a lot. So That's a big benefit here, I think. Massive benefit. That's my business is built off that. So.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing you should focus on when building a fitness business.
Yeah.
That the people there feel some kind of connection to why they're going there. Either it's the community or it's the trainers or whatever it is. You got to build up that first. Yeah. And then people will stay. Yeah. They're not going to leave. Obviously, if you start, being sloppy and
of course. You got to do your job. Yeah. To the best of your ability. Exactly. And then basically, if you do that in Finland, you don't need to do marketing. No. No. You don't need to know anything about marketing. No. If you know stuff about marketing, you're gonna kill everyone. But but basically, if you just do a good job, keep everyone happy, the business will grow anyway. So we only just started marketing my PT business just now.
What's your fitness philosophy or your training philosophy?
Everyone always asks this. I don't really have one, man. I believe in doing what you enjoy. Right, that's one thing. For me, I like training with weights, but it's not. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I don't really care too much about competing, even though I maybe should. I like doing a bit of jiu-jitsu as well. But I just try to keep it exciting. So make sure you're enjoying it is the first thing, because then otherwise you're just not going to do it for very long. So if you don't enjoy running and you want to get cardio fit, don't bother running. Don't bother going for a run. Do something you like. If you go, okay, I like tennis. Well, that's your cardio. We do that with a lot of clients. I don't think I have any of my clients going for a run. We have over 100 clients. And I don't think any of them actually run for cardio. They might be playing badminton, playing tennis, playing ice hockey, but then they do their strength sessions with us. So we work out what they really like to do, and then we make sure we include that in their programs. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it the cardio is more of play and having fun?
Yeah, I believe that.
I think
some people, of course, enjoy going for a run. I'd rather blow my own head off, man. That would just be so boring for me.
I think sometimes people get too caught up in results and forget about the play. Yeah, it's funny when people hit the gym, whatever they're doing, CrossFit or functional training or bodybuilding, whatever style of training they're doing, you start concentrating too much on the weights, the times you're putting in, the aesthetic aspect of it, and people think they forget about that having fun aspect, and I think that's the most important thing of fitness. Is that you have to use your fitness as well. If you're just lifting weights and concentrating too much on the weights that you're having or the peak of your bicep, you forget about why you're doing it. No, it's obviously it's going to be a little bit different if you're training for a bodybuilding show or a bikini show, whatever it is, but you need to have that fun in it.
I think that's I think if you're stressing about training as well and worrying about it and thinking about it too much, I never see those people getting results, right? It's always the ones you see just mucking around. They train hard for the 45 minutes, then they get the fuck out of the gym, and they'll just go and in Australia, go and play on the beach, play rugby on the beach, or play touch footy, or go for a bike ride, or just chill out. Those guys are always in the best shape, or girls, whatever. That's what I find. It's just the people that are getting up, doing their 4 a.m. morning cardio on the fucking treadmill. That's not life, man.
It's true. Those are the guys who are the fittest because they just use more calories and use their muscles more during the whole day.
Yeah,
because they have fun. Up. Because they have fun with stuff they do. And also if you're aiming for a show, whatever it is, maybe it's a better idea to do the cardio, playing footy or
for sure, man,
or
for sure,
whatever you're doing.
Yeah, making sure you're getting 10,000 steps a day.
Exactly.
Because people, they go, all right, I'm going to do my morning cardio. It's like, great, you do 20 minutes morning cardio, well done. And then you go sit in an office for the whole day, and then you do your 1 hour weight session.
Yeah.
You know, the guy in the construction yard is going to look better.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually just started paying attention to how many steps I take a day.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask me how active I am,
yeah,
I would of course say I'm almost super active. You know.
Yep.
Really active. But once I got this this watch that has the step counter, I started noticing that there are days that I only take like 3,000 to 4,000 steps.
Yeah.
That's not nearly how active I thought I was.
No.
Of course, I'm doing the high intensity work every now and then, and you know, but still, I'm really not that active.
Yeah, that's a lot of people who like. That's some of the stuff we include in the coaching, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to. I can write diets, you know, for people that are doing competition prep, but it's, you know, it's not something I'm going to do. My clients don't want to follow a diet. So we talk about the really, really simple things and the really, really small changes they can make to get a result. It's the bare minimum to get a result. I think that's what works the best. If you try and change someone's whole philosophy of the way they see themselves in like just by giving them a piece of paper, it's going to last 2 weeks, you know. So it's monitoring steps, changing habits slowly, you know, increasing NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So yeah, making sure they're active, doing stuff around, you know, and if they have kids, go and playing with their kids instead of just playing PlayStation. They go play outside, you know, doing all those little things as well. So yeah, that's some of the stuff we focus on.
What about diet? Like how where would you start?
Where do I start? I start with breakfast, man. So yeah, normally the first meal I get someone to change is their breakfast. It depends. They might not be even changing it.
You see, so, you change it meal by meal, or
I change it meal by meal. It depends on the person, right? So the person has to, the client has to basically agree for that change, right? Because if they don't agree, they're gonna resist it. So they won't do it for very long. They might do it because they respect you for a week, right? And this is not for athletes, right? Athletes are a completely different story. They just do as they're fucking told, and as they should, right? And then, but if you look at a normal person has all these other things going on, and they're just not going to do stuff. So
it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's what I've been trying to say to people. It's different coaching someone who is paying for it, for you to coach them, than to coach an athlete. You know, if I get a sports team, I can get them doing anything. Yeah, and they will do it hard. Yeah, especially if it's a professional sports team, because those guys know that if they're not working hard enough, there's always the next guy gonna take their place. Yep.
It's very easy to coach an athlete. Yeah. I think that athlete's the easiest coaching tool. Like,
exactly. I'm not talking about the results. You need to.
You got to know more science.
Yeah, you got to know more science. Yeah. But it's different when you're coaching just a normal person who just wants to get fitter,
and who maybe runs $1 million business, you know, or has 2 kids, and you know, there's a lot of more complicated things. Yeah. So yeah, normally it's breakfast. The reason why for that is I find when people eat a healthy breakfast and they start their day off right, less chance of them fucking up lunch.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good philosophy.
You know, if you start your breakfast off with a croissant and a coffee, right? Yeah. You're really gonna fuck the rest of the day, right? So that's the way I see it. So it's breakfast first.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, and then water would be the next change, and then it would probably be non-exercise activity, like so, making sure they're active and monitoring that, and then lunch. But lunch is normally with their work friends, or you know, so they normally go to a buffet, which is normally pretty easy to sort of eat healthy, I guess. And then dinner I leave pretty open depending on the person, because like we just spoke, a lot of people have kids, a lot of people go out for business dinners, I think they need a bit more room to move in that part of their diet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that does make a lot of sense, because I don't talk to my clients like that. I'm a bit more strict with them.
Yeah.
You know. And now that you're saying the way you're bringing it out is that I think it sounds more reasonable the way you're doing it.
But I wouldn't say, I don't say eat a pizza, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't get them to measure foods, right? I teach them by their hands.
Why not?
You can teach how to measure calories with your hands, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen this before, right? Precision nutrition method. Yeah. It works it's pretty accurate, depending on the foods and depending on the person. But I find it works pretty well. So I just make sure they're having enough protein in every single meal. That's the first goal. So they're having protein in dinner, so it's not, if they have a pizza, it's like, well, maybe you should have some protein as well. Make sure there's extra meat on the pizza at least, right? If they're having a meal at home, make sure the wife or the husband or whoever cooks it, make sure there's some chicken or some beef or whatever it is, right? And then all the other stuff you can sort of mess around with a little bit more, I think. I normally get most of my clients to put their carbohydrates at night time, just because they don't need them during the day. If most of my clients are office workers, okay, so
they're not gonna need carbs.
They're not going to need much carbs. Of course they need carbs, but I'm going to use the carbohydrates at night time to increase serotonin and make them feel good and make them sleep better. So the next morning, most of my clients train in the morning as well. So that's why I try to structure them. Business guys, running companies, they don't want to train in the afternoons. So most of them train in the mornings. So generally the carbohydrates get used in the morning for the following morning workout, and that's fine. And they've also got a better sleep. So they're the things you focus on more. I think sitting there counting every single calories, they don't want to do it.
No,
I don't want to fucking do it.
No, I understand what your philosophy is making it easy for them.
Yeah.
Easy changes and
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple and then maybe if they fall into it, making it more strict.
Yeah, for sure. If they're compliant and they want more, right? So they've been getting results for a while, but then they just want more. They want to put their foot down. Well, then you can change stuff. Then you can do carb cycling. You can do all this different stuff. But, until you get someone doing the basics, a lot of people don't eat protein every meal.
No, that's true.
Why the fuck am I going to write you a diet? You're not going to follow it. It's stupid. You see, these 10-week challenges and that sort of stuff, or 4-week challenges. The success rate of people following those diets is about 5%. There's no point. I'll write diets for free. They're free on my website. You can take them, right? But I just know most people are not going to do them.
Yeah,
it's got to be coaching. It's got to be one-on-one stuff.
So, what's your own diet look like?
My own diet, a lot of food.
A lot of food.
Yeah, it sucks. I hate it. I hate eating, man. It's the hardest part of being a fitness person. I think.
It is.
Everyone thinks that training is the hardest part. Training is fucking easy. It's really enjoyable. I love training. But when I'm trying to do jiu-jitsu and weights, I train basically nearly every day. I still try and train every day, or at least do something. So if I don't do jiu-jitsu or weights or any boxing stuff, I go for a long walk, right? So it's every day I have to do something.
But I think that philosophy, that's what I try to teach people to is not to take days off.
Yeah, neither.
Just do
something lighter.
Something, yeah. You have to learn to vary the intensity of your workouts. Maybe going high intensity one day, then going lower intensity the other day. The third day, just doing something fun and then ramping it up again. But I think people shouldn't have, because I think people should have off days, of course, but they kind of miss the point with off day, or they kind of misunderstand the concept of off days.
I think off day is the wrong term.
Yeah.
Off day is the wrong term. It should be a low intensity day.
Yeah.
So my clients are not allowed off days, right? If they have a day off, right, you go for a walk with your wife.
Yeah.
You spend some time and then you leave your phone at home. You know, that's what I do. So, like, because I'm hyperactive, I'm always about business. I'm always trying to make my business better, and like my girlfriend hates that because I wake up at like 5 in the morning and I go to bed 11 at night. You know, and all those hours I'm trying to do stuff. So it's like, if she knows that she sometimes has to just drag me out of the house and say, let's go for a walk. You didn't train today. You need to do something. Go for a walk. Leave your phone here.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I think people misunderstand, or they don't really get the concept of days off.
Yeah.
Because our life is so sedentary that if you wake up on Sunday morning and you go lie down on the couch, you can lie there fucking all day.
Good old Netflix.
Yeah, good old Netflix. Have Walt or the pizza delivery guy bring you the pizza twice a day.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, it is. But that concept of an off day, that's not really going to take you anywhere.
No, you can get up and you just go for a walk in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, kickstart metabolism, start doing something.
Yeah.
Do something around the house.
Yeah.
Like, at least do something.
Go play with your kids, whatever it is that you're doing. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell my customers too, is that forget about off days.
Yeah.
Try to do something physical every day. Even if you're injured.
Yeah, it can be recovery swim, right?
It can be recovery swim, or if you're I mean, there are a lot of people obviously that injures themselves now and then. I always tell them, just walk down to the gym, have a coffee, and so that you have that routine in your life that it's 5 o'clock, I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything there, but just walk down to the gym and
say hello to people.
Yeah, say hello.
Build the relationships. Yeah.
Have a coffee and go home.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of it. Like, but yeah, as for my diet, it's like carb cycling, high carb, low carb days. Generally, it's every day high carb day because I generally try and train every day. So, but yeah, technically it's high carb, low carb. And I have a coach myself. So.
Who's your coach?
Adam Dowling. He's an Australian guy, so it's online. So because I'm running a business and because like I'm disciplined myself, but then I just find that if I pay someone, I'm extra disciplined.
Yeah, that's what I find too. Because,
you know, like, there should be someone keeping you in line.
Yeah, and that's when you're accountable to someone.
Yeah. And it's a massive thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think I spent the first 2 years here in Finland without a coach and without a training partner.
Yeah.
So it can be a coach, can be a training partner. If your training partner is knowledgeable, right? And I had that for the first 3 years of when I was lifting weights. He knew more than me. He didn't know as much as like a coach should, but he was just my mate, right?
Yeah.
And big dude, built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, like, and so we always had that accountability. We'd never skip a session, you know. Even if one of us was sick, he'd like come and drag me out of bed, or I'd drag him out of bed, or, you know, if we knew we'd had to eat more food, we'd sit across from each other, and like, because we were both in the military, and we'd just be like, eat. So I was sitting there at like the all-you-can-eat buffets in the military, like trying to force feed our food in, and like, because you're burning so many calories running 2 PT sessions a day, and then doing strength training at night time, and so yeah, I think it's a big thing. It's either a good training partner or a coach. Pretty much everyone should have one to some extent.
And it's funny that you mentioned that it's. I find that it's even better if you're paying someone.
For sure, because money talks.
Yeah, money talks. It's like I have the ROM WOD. You know the ROM WOD? Yeah. It's like just a CrossFit yoga program. But anyway, it's when I pay that $10 a month for it. Yeah. It kind of makes me feel guilty if I'm not doing it every night.
Yeah. For sure.
And I find that even sometimes it's, if you want results, you should ask your client to give you like $1,000 more, and you'll give it back to him when he gets the results. Yeah, that's deposits. I do that. It's a good way. Yeah, and I have like questions with my clients like, who's your favorite superhero? So when they sign up, it's like, who's your favorite superhero, and how much would you pay me to look like him? Yeah. So, and you can use these things as well, like when you're coaching. So, exactly. Yeah, coaching's interesting, but people are weird. But money is definitely a thing that makes
makes people do things.
Yeah.
To be honest, I used to coach for cheaper, so I was a lot cheaper than what I am now. The more I charge, the better the results the clients get, and it's not because I of course know more, but I don't really use the stuff I know, right? In terms of the whole science stuff that you would use with training athletes. I wouldn't use 30% of the knowledge, right? But I find when they pay more, they listen more. No one fucks up.
Yeah.
My online's €250 a month. And they get one call a week, group call.
Yeah.
And all those guys do exactly everything. But when I was charging 99, it's the same thing, but
it's
not as many did it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't break the €100. And maybe found it easy to make sales, but you need more clients anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's funny being a good coach. You really have to get into the minds of the people you're coaching, and some guys need more a reward based approach, and some other guys need more that stick based approach. You just have to yell at them and be really army like.
Yeah.
Some need more that pat on the back.
Everyone responds differently.
Yeah. And you got to find that, because not one size fits all in coaching.
Yeah. That's one thing I learned. I think that was probably the hardest thing for me to learn, coming from my dad's a very fit guy, right? He's a world champion cyclist in 3 events.
Oh yeah.
Still, so he still races professionally, and so I was brought up and I was very, very fit. He'd wake me up at 4:30 in the morning, and 4:30 or 5:30, I can't fucking remember now. I think it was 5:30. 5:30 in the morning before school, and he'd grab me out of bed and he'd drive me up the road 8 kilometers, and I'd have to run home every morning, and then I'd have breakfast, then I'd pack his trucks because he owned a construction company, and then I'd go to school, and then I was at school, we were big in rugby, right?
Yeah.
So I'd have to play rugby for an hour every morning before we started actually studying, and then at night time I played club rugby, so for a local team, or I boxed. I get home at 8 o'clock, and then I'll unpack the trucks, go to bed, and then so every day it was very, very strict, very, very it was still military like.
Yeah.
So when I joined the military, I found the military fucking easy. So because it was waking up at 6, I was sleep in, fuck yeah. So that was the biggest learning curve, is when I started actually coaching normal people, right? Because I went from coaching straight to military guys who are very, very disciplined.
Yeah,
who are hypnotized. They're hypnotized in a way, right?
And those people you can kind of just you can demand from them.
They got no choice anyway, right?
It's authority.
Yeah.
You have authority over them.
Yeah. It's do as I fucking tell you.
Do as I fucking tell you, or leave.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, when you don't leave, you go to jail in the Australian military.
Yeah.
So it's it's you do this or you go into jail.
Yeah.
So so it's very, very different when I started coaching business guys, and I was like, fuck, I need to change who I am. I need to change completely. Of course, you can still I run a boot camp every Friday morning for a lot of our clients, and there I maybe turn the military a little bit, because it's the whole setting of the situation. But apart from that, it's very very nice, very polite, it's more pat on the back style coaching. There's maybe 2 of my clients where I can sort of yell shit in their ears, but the rest of them
But you have to know them. You can start off with that.
Yeah, no, you can sort of fuck with their heads a little bit, so it's good. I think the whole mind coaching thing is what a lot of people talk about. It's pretty interesting though.
It is, and I think people might misunderstand that too. It's it sounds really woo woo.
Yeah.
But it's more just down to earth, common sense every now and then. You know, it's it's like being positive. Okay, when some people come to you and start talking about how important it is to be positive, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, hippie?
Yeah.
But then in your own mind, you know how right he or she is.
Yep.
It's everyone knows that life is better if you're positive.
Yeah.
It's just fucking common sense.
Yeah.
But the way someone kind of brings it out to you, it's gonna make it hard.
Different, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the whole mind coaching. I hate the term mind coaching. Right?
Yeah, me too.
I hate the term. I fucking hate life coaches.
Yeah,
like, that pisses me off more than anything. Like when someone says they're a life coach, I'm like, the fuck do you have? Like immediately, I think you better be a millionaire. You better have a very hot missus. You better be very, very fit, because otherwise, I'm not going to listen. Right? No. But yeah, I don't understand a lot of these people. But yeah, I spent 2 weeks with that hypnotist actually. In Thailand.
Oh yeah, that's what you told me about. Yeah. How was that?
That was fucking interesting. It's a different feeling, man. You ever been hypnotized?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like, a lot of people ask me what it was like, and I think the easiest way to explain to most people is the movie Inception. You know, when the hypnotist is really, really good, they can sort of fuck with your thoughts. You know, your unconscious mind, and. Yeah, the first time I realised when I was actually hypnotised or in trance or under was when I tried to open my eyes and I couldn't fucking open my eyes. Did they tell you to do that?
No, it's funny. What I remember about me being fucking having a cramp. Shit. What I remember about when I was hypnotised is that. It was kind of being asleep, but not yet.
Not asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different brain waves. Yeah. So you haven't gone into that RE yet, deep sleep yet.
But I don't think I was that, deep.
That deep, yeah.
That I couldn't open my eyes or anything like that. Man, but it was interesting.
I was out of it.
You were out of it?
Oh, completely, man.
Yeah.
Like, he took my name from me. Was one thing he did. I completely forgot my name. So one session, he's like, woke me up, and he's like, he told me before, he's like, I'm going to take your name from you this session, so don't wake up and get pissed off with me. I'm like, all right. So wake up, and he's like, I remember him talking, and like when I was in that trance, I was saying to myself in my head, like, my name is Aaron, my name is Aaron, my name is Aaron. So I thought, I'm going to try and fuck him over here. I'm going to remember my name. And he clicks his fingers. I wake up, like, boom, like this. And he's like, what's your name? I'm like, oh, fuck. I got nothing. I had nothing, man. And that was a weird feeling.
Why did you go in the first place? Just to
I was just staying with him. Like, I heard about him from he lives in Geelong, which is where the fighting street is. He works with a lot of UFC fighters and a lot of pro Muay Thai fighters and stuff like that. So he's ex-military as well, so Australian military guy. I heard about him from one mate who he convinced to quit smoking in an hour. So he hypnotised him, and this guy quit smoking in an hour and never touched a smoke since. He said he looks at a cigarette, makes him feel sick, and like, it's really, really weird. And so I heard about it from them. We've been talking on Facebook a fair bit, like over a year or something. And I said I was coming to Thailand. He's like, hey man, you can just stay at my place because I don't live at my place. I live with my girlfriend. You can just have my house. I'm just there during the day for work. I use it as my office. And then I was pretty intrigued, I guess. It's not like I had something that wanted to fix. I don't smoke. I didn't want to quit smoking or anything. But he did things like, I'm a little bit scared of heights, right? And I was on top of this balcony, like 3 stories high, over a cliff face. And I was leaning backwards over the balcony. And I looked over and I'm like, oh, fuck that. Stood up. So I stood up from leaning on the fence. Yeah. And he saw me do that. And he's like, we're on like a marketing seminar together. And that's why I went to Thailand, for a marketing seminar. But and he's like, you're scared of heights? And I'm like, yeah, a little bit. When I have my back to it, and I sort of, I'm leaning over. Of course, nearly everyone is. And he's like, okay, cool. So he hypnotized me then and there. And then like he changed that feeling of fear to like a color. So every time I'm scared, I get to like a really high place, I see like this tinge of color, and I don't it's like an emotion that passes through me. I don't really get scared of it. It just goes straight through. It's fucking weird, man. There's some weird stuff.
When is he coming to Finland?
Yeah, I've got some clients that want him to come here, actually. He's very good at what he does, though.
Yeah, sounds...
Yeah. And then he asked me, like, what's one thing you would like to change? And,
dick size. Can't do that.
Wasn't it? And, it's close. Discipline. I said I'd like to be super disciplined again, like I was in my military days. Yeah. I'm disciplined, of course. Like, and he's like, you're already very disciplined. But he's like, how disciplined do you want to be? I'm like, to the minute disciplined. And then so he's working on me with that at the moment. But so he does it on Skype as well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so he can hypnotize you over Skype. And yeah, so we're working on Skype together. And but yeah, that's why.
What if the connection breaks?
Yeah, that's the question everyone asks.
Yeah.
Apparently, you wake up about 20 minutes later because he's not putting input.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he's not
yeah.
talking. So he said you just wake up. He said it could be 5 minutes, could be 20 minutes, no longer. But eventually, you just because you're not in that sleep stage, as you said, you're just above it. So you'll eventually just snap out of it. It's like a power nap. So it's a weird feeling though. I enjoy it. It's a bit of
It sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. Listen, man, we gotta get going. You have a meeting.
Yes, I do.
I have a meeting. It was nice. I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, man.
We should do this again.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks.
Have to come and check out
Thanks
the gym when we open.
Yeah, it's open next week.
So March 5th. Yeah.
March 5th.
Yeah, and we put a jiu-jitsu room in there, mate. Mixed martial arts room. Yeah.
Good.
So you'll have to come along.
I will.
And there's like a group of 15 of us. So they're all better than me.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, maybe not all of them, most of them. I'm hopeless.
Alright, thanks for coming. Kiitos myöskin teille, hyvät katsojat. Muistakaa käydä tykkäämässä näistä meidän jaksoista ja painamassa tykkää-nappia joka puolella, missä semmoinen löytyy. Ja ennen kaikkea niin käykää jakamassa näitä, niin autatte meitä sitten tuomaan tätä meidän ilosanomaa eteenpäin. Kiitos teille. Kiitos sulle.
Kiitos.
Ensi kertaan. Moro.